Archivist's Preface, Swansea Maritime Museum. File A1129, the Evans Ledger. The entries reproduced below were discovered in 1978 behind a warped bulkhead aboard the derelict pilot cutter Gannet, penciled in a shipwright's notebook. They bear the initials J.E. and span December 1910, March 1911. Portions are water-stained. Illegible lines are marked Dock Road, Swansea, the 11th of December 1910, every winter. The copper-smelting smoke settles over Swansea Bay like a second sea one you breathe instead of sail. That Sunday I trudged through it toward the shipyard gates. Toolbox knocking my knee, wool cap tugged low. Night shift again. Caulking planks till dawn because the Oystermouth Railway keeps swallowing daylight hours and honest men. Beside me trotted Lily, my 9-year-old, fingertips brushing my coat so she wouldn't lose me in the murk. She's been blind since the fever of '06, but she walks the cobbles surer than any sighted child counts them, I swear. The foreman never liked me bringing her, yet what choice? Ma'am died last spring, and the neighbor woman charges threepence an hour just to let Lily sit quiet. The yard pays 3 shillings for the whole night. The maths condemn sentiment. We passed the harbor master's office, windows dark, chain looping the door, and I felt the Sunday hush. No clank of rivets, only gulls complaining overhead, half seen, like scraps of newspaper against the smoky moon. Lily stopped suddenly. "What is it, Cariad?" "Listen, Dea." She cocked her head. "Don't you hear boots, but small like school shoes, and they don't tap, they hiss." I heard nothing but tide-slapping pilings. She tugged again. "They're wet, Day. Footsteps made of water." I laughed, ruffled her hair. "Just the sea talking. Smells a storm, sloshes about." But as I knelt to tighten her scarf, a chill licked the back of my neck like someone reading over my shoulder. The first discovery shift ended at 2:30 in the morning. I led Lily home by lantern. Moon had climbed high, smoke thinned. That's when I saw them, footprints across the stone quay, each print blackened, borders faintly glowing, as though the moonlight itself had burned them into granite. They began 20 yards from the slippery tiny solace, perhaps child-sized, and marched in single file toward the waterline, vanished under the waves. I squatted. The rock felt warm around the scorched impression, yet the December air numbed my knuckles. I pressed a fingertip to the glow. No soot came away, no residue. The mark wasn't on the stone. It was in it, like letters acid-etched on brass. "Is it paint?" Lily asked. "No batch." My voice cracked like ice. "Nothing of the sort." Behind us the tide sighed. A gull shrieked, flapped once, and fled inland. Inspector Morgan's. Puzzlement at dawn, I fetched Inspector Emmer Morgan from the constabulary. He thumped along, mustache twitching. "Prank," he declared after cursory sniff. "Pavement painter phosphorescent whitewash, perhaps. College lads." But the stones burned. I demonstrated with my pocket knife blade skittered. "Across rim but found no raised edge," Morgan grunted. "Coal dust and condensation. Leave it. The seal scrub it clean." I doubted him. Swansea tides scour rust off iron bollards, yet these prints looked ready to outlive kingdoms. Before the inspector left, Lily faced him square. "They're not footprints," she said softly. "They're imprints of something that went away." Morgan tipped his bowler. "Little Miss Evans reads mysteries, huh?" "She reads with her ears," I corrected. "And you'd do wise to listen." He strode off muttering about dockside folk filling heads with spectral nonsense. Ledger entry, 14. December 1910, worked the night shift again. Quay swept twice by tide, but prints remain, faint glow on full darkness. Lily stood over them. She said they sound like wind chimes, only lower, like church organ deep note. I heard nout. Marked location on yard chart, 37 paces south of Old Lighthouse stump. I wrote more but tore it out, felt wrong trapping something unordinary on common paper. Lily's listening lesson. Saturday afternoon we sat by the parlor stove. Lily ran fingers across her braille primer but stopped. Mid-sentence. The stone is singing again, day. Far off but coming closer. I set tea down. Sound carries across docks. It's not air, it's under things. Later, she asked to visit the footprints by moonlight when they're awake. Against sense, I agreed, curiosity outweighing fear. Moonrise on the longest night, the 21st of December 1910, winter solstice. The town swaddled in frost, masts white like bone silhouettes. We reached the quay at 11. The footprints gleamed brighter than before now, each rim pulsed silver blue, as if tides of light lapped them. Lily knelt, palms hovering above shapes. Beneath every step, she whispered. I hear whispering in Welsh now, older than Welsh. Like gulls talking backward. She began humming, pitch somewhere between lullaby and lament, soft but sure. The glow answered, flaring then dimming with each note, as if stone and child conversed by breath. Chill rolled down my spine. Stop, Cariad. I pulled her up. Just then, harbor bell tolled midnight, and a distant engine whistle howled from the rail line. When both echoes died, the prints dimmed too, retreating to faint ember. Lily exhaled. They're tired. We can go. The silence left in their wake felt charged, like air after lightning, empty yet trembling. Rumors spreads by Christmas Eve, words seeped into taverns. Dockers wagered a shilling to lay hand on the prince. Some swore burns blistered their skin, others laughed off a child's fancy. A Welsh Baptist preacher branded them devil's hooves. The South Wales Daily Post printed 2 sentences in Oddman's column. Foreman rees for bad gossip on pain of dismissal. Yet each lunch break men swapped tailies. A beggar disappeared after following Prince into surf. A lamplighter found his copper pole magnetized nearby. The old lighthouse stump wept salt despite frost. In the Evans cottage, Lily kept counting. 23. Prince, same each night. 23 is prime, can't be split but by itself. I blinked. Where did you learn prime numbers? Mrs. Griffith's schoolbook before fever. She smiled shyly. Numbers sing too. New Year's tempest, the 31st of December, blew in like cannon fire. Barometer plummeted. Coal smoke fled inland. Waves hammered breakwater. The shipyard closed early. But I lingered, riveting a leaky weir keel. When I emerged, Lily stood on dock road unattended. Don't scare me so. I chided. They're calling strong tonight. I should have marched her home, yet something in her blank gaze, eyes milk blue, fixed on nothing but brimming with knowing, stilled me. We walked the seawall. Footprints glowed whiter than moonbeams. And beside the last print, closer to water, a new mark had appeared, larger, maybe my own size, yet not burnt, but frosted. Rimmed in hoarfrost shimmering emerald. Lily inhaled sharply. It's an answer. The wind rose, roaring sad secrets through rigging. Rain birthed sideways, needling eyes. Waves thrashed high enough to spray prints, yet neither charred nor frosted mark blurred. I felt the cold footprint. Numbness shot. To elbow skin mottled white. I yanked back. We fled home through sheets of rain. Lily singing fragments I didn't know, notes that curved strange like half-remembered lullabies, slipping through minor thirds, echoing the sea's rhythm. That night, thunder shook Swansea until China danced on shelves. Cotters spoke of ghost ship lights far offshore, rolling broadside then vanishing. Visitor from Aberystwyth University, the 4th of January 1911. Dr. Idris Vaughan, arrived, professor of geology, mustache thin as slide rule. Inspector Morgan, feeling out of his depth, roped him in. We met at quay under half moon. Prince glowed faint, still twin sets. 23 char, 1 frost. Vaughan unpacked brass calipers, measured depth, 0. The stone surface sat level. Only color changed. He scraped a shaving, nothing lifted. He applied nitric acid, no fizz. He examined with lensed loupe, muttering, "Crystalline lattice modified, but not chemically." He proposed high-heat plasma could reorder atoms. Not technology 1911 possessed. Morgan muttered superstition. Vaughn rolled eyes. When asked why Prince pointed seaward, Lily spoke up, "Because whatever walked wanted to go home." Vaughn knelt kindly. "And where is home, Miss Evans?" "Under the bright part of the moon," she said. "The academic." Noted that Mare Imbrium folktales call it Sea of Rains, then chuckled as if at a child's fancy. Yet his pen shook a little. Ledger entry. The 6th of January 1911. Finally convinced Rees to grant leave. Promised to work Sundays. Plan. Take Lily to Aunt Bronwyn in Landovery for a fortnight. Distance may hush this madness. Not sure whom I save. Her. Or myself. But the railway would not comply. We boarded the 7:10 a.m. Great Western to Llanelli change for Landovery. Lily pressed her face to window, though she saw only darkness. Half hour in, the train screeched halt near Penclawed Marshes. Guard rushed carriage. Track flooded, timetable suspended. We debarked into murky dawn, salty fog slithering inland. Lily gripped my sleeve. "They won't let me leave, Da." Footsteps follow. I told her nonsense, yet looked down. Mud beside rails bore small prints, char-rimmed, pointing back toward Swansea. Cold wormed through spine. We trudged 4 miles home. At waterfront, charred prints looked fresher, as though etched anew. Frost print beside last charred mark had spread, now 6. Adult-sized frosts marched in opposite direction landward ending. At road where cart ruts blurred them, something had come ashore. Acti curtain, the singing stone. That Sunday night, sick with worry, I returned alone, left Lily sleeping. The quay lay deserted, lanterns dim, charred prints burned bluish. Frost prints glittered raw. I knelt between, felt vibration low. Rhythmic, deeper than ship engines, like heartbeats inside earth. I pressed ear to stone. Faint tones, not random but sequenced. 3 pulses, pause, 5 pulses, pause, then 8. Fibonacci numbers my father once recited when teaching me not spacing. A gust extinguished lantern. I straightened in darkness, salt sting eyes. Beyond harbor light, something rose from water shape tall, skin of moongloss, face hidden by cowl of sea spray. I froze. It regarded me, then pointed landward, where Lily slept. I fled, feet sliding on slick stone. Mind screaming equation of fear. Footprints behind me glowed brighter, char on one side, frost on other, 2 paths converging toward town, as if 2 worlds prepared to touch. Curator's Interleaf, Swansea Maritime Museum, Philo 1129, folios 17 to 38. The ensuing pages of the Evans Ledger cover the 8th of January, the 4th of February 1911. In addition to James Evans's pencil notes, fresh ink marginalia appear clearly written later, perhaps by an archivist trying to reconcile times and tides. Annotations are kept in brackets. Bleak Monday on Wynn Street, the 8th of January 1911, smoke blew sideways, funneled by Atlantic squalls. The shipyard siren wailed half-mast. Foreman Rees announced every able riveter must reinforce the breakwater before spring king tide. No mention of footprints, but everyone's eyes twitched seaward. At noon, Lily accompanied me to the dry dock office. Rees's orders be damned. I wouldn't leave her alone again. She stood silent as men argued steel gauges. When the meeting broke, she tugged my sleeve. The numbers changed. 23 prints no longer. How many now? 34. My breath caught. 34, the next Fibonacci after 21. Each disaster in Copper Town seemed to multiply by that golden reckoning. First 1 char trail, now 2. 1 frost mark, now 13. I scribbled counts in the ledger, circled them until graphite dented paper. That night I dreamed of spirals drawn on tide pools. Salt swirling down a drain too vast for oceans. Town hall tumult. 10 January, Mayor Fenton convened an emergency council. beneath vaulted rafters black with coal soot. Inspector Morgan blamed phosphorus pranksters. The Reverend Hughes thundered about footfalls of Beelzebub. Dr. Vaughan requested funding for geological survey. Smugglers' tunnels honeycombed beneath quay. Maybe chemical seepage caused luminescent reaction. I stood black-bearded riveter among magistrates and spoke of frost prints moving inland. Laughter from counselors. Sympathy from none. Hughes brandished his Bible. When eldritch signs appear, it is faith, not science, that must seal the breach. Council resolved 2 actions: torchlight patrols nightly along waterfront, anchorite prayer vigil during full moon. The 2nd of February, money for Vaughan, vetoed. Outside, Vaughan cursed bureaucracy. Give me one favor. James, let me place my portable seismograph near the prince. If the stones sing as your daughter claims, the stylus will dance. I agreed. Ledger extract -12 January set seismograph tripod by footprint 17. Lily listened. Said pitch lower now, like whales under ice. Vaughan adjusted tuning fork 21 Hz rumble. Stylus plotted micro-tremors. 3 spikes, pause, 5 spikes. Again Fibonacci. Vaughan paled, muttered Latin. Media vita in mortis sumus, in the midst of life we are in death. Vanishing on Oystermouth Road that evening, old Sean Hughes. Lamplighter, failed to come home. Patrol found his brass pole abandoned at the 20th charred mark, tip fused into knot-like glass. Beyond, frost prints continued inland for the first time right up Wynn Street, stopping at the threshold of the derelict copper foundry. Inside the foundry, soot coated everything, but a single corridor was wiped clean, as though something sparkling cold had brushed through. No sign of Sean save his cap, rimmed in rhyme. Words spread by morning. Dock workers refused night shifts. Foremen threatened sackings. Men spat. Lily's sound map the 15th of January. Lily sat at kitchen table with slate and chalk, eyes staring into blankness. She drew a spiral counterclockwise marking numbers: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Between 21 and 34, she etched a line straight to the center. What's that, Batch? Shortcut, she said. They're tired of spiraling. They want to meet. I felt the cottage shrink, walls bow inward. She handed me slate. Tonight, the frost ones and the fire ones will touch. If they do, the song finishes. What? Song Cariad? The song that began before there were ships, she whispered. Collision course -18 January. Vaughan, Morgan, and I toured the quay. Charred trail lengthened landward. Frost trail slid seaward, mirror lines destined to intersect near the old lighthouse stump at next full moon. The seismograph recorded tremors every night, amplitude rising. Vaughan claimed subcrustal resonance. Perhaps the moon's perigee pulls the bay's bedrock like a drum skin. Morgan scoffed. Yet his mustache now twitched with fear. I asked Lily what would happen when trails met. She answered not with words, but a song single note held, thin yet piercing. Metal tools along tool shed wall rang in sympathy. Vaughan's tuning fork leapt from bench. Morgan crossed himself and left without hat. The warehouse apparition, the 20th of January, 3 hours before dawn. Lily woke screaming. They've taken Sean to the water furnace. She meant the copper foundry's annealing chamber. We raced there, lanterns sputtering. Inside, frost haze swirled like breath. Deep amid slag heaps, char footprints glowed. Frost prints shimmered opposite. In the chamber's hearth waited a figure tall, dripping sea brine, cowl of kelp, eyes black as spent coal. Beside him, old Sean knelt, glaze-eyed but unharmed. The creature touched Shion's shoulder. Frost crackled up his sleeve. Lily stepped forward. They don't see Da, she said. They feel lost and think we're their way home. My knees locked, heart drum crazy. The figure hummed low chord that set slag vibrating. Lily hummed. Answer, higher inversion. The being paused, tilted head, then withdrew into darkness, hauling frost trail with it. The char prince pulsed once, as though breathing sigh, then followed. Sean collapsed. We carried him to infirmary. He remembered nothing. Doctrine of meeting waves, the 22nd of January. Vaughn drafted plan. If two sonic forces converged, we could create destructive interference. Generate equal and opposite sound wave at junction. Footprints may cancel, but what generates 21 Hz and 34 Hz simultaneously? He mused. The shipyard steam whistle, I offered. It pitches near 300 Hz, but we can fit a Helmholtz resonator, split frequencies. Vaughn's eyes shone. But Rees would never permit such tinkering on company iron. We decided to steal the whistle after midnight, the 1st of February, night before full moon. Prayer, vigil, and riot. The 2nd of February dawned with copper-tinged sky. Reverend Hughes gathered flock on lighthouse stump. Hymns rose. Footprints glowed under worshippers' boots, jar under left feet, frost under right, stealing color from leather. Patrolman Howells shouted warning. Hughes lifted cross. Congregation panicked. Someone threw lantern. Oil burst flames. Winged whipped fire across plankwalk. In chaos, frost prints melted to steam. Char prints flared cobalt. Crowd scattered. No casualties. But lighthouse stump cracked down the middle fault line. Town blamed Hughes for angering spirits. Hughes blamed science meddling. Helmholtz. By moonlight night of the 3rd of February, Vaughn and I lugged brass resonator, a barrel with slotted neck, onto slipway. Steam line tapped, gauge hissed. Lily, wrapped in peacoat, listened. When moon, huge blood-smudged cleared smoke, we saw it. 2 foot trails now inches apart on lighthouse ledge. Air tasted metallic. Ear canals tickled. Lily raised hand. They're singing now. We heard nothing, then remembered 21 Hz sits. Below hearing, seismograph pen JITTER. We opened steam valve. Whistle shrieked. Resonator throttled, dropping pitch to subaudible. Wharf planks shook. Frost prints flickered. Char prints dimmed. For heartbeat we cheered, then whistle lateral pipe sheared. A bolt tore free, hurled through darkness, steam vented. Tone collapsed immediately. Footprints blazed brighter than ever, blue fire and emerald snow colliding. Sparks arced between trails, stone hissed. Lily screamed, soundless, mouth wide, but drowned in inaudible roar. She crumpled, eyes rolling. We killed steam, gathered her. Pulse weak. Tomorrow, Vaughn gasped. Full moon. If this failed, next meeting ends us. Act 2 climax. Tidal glass, the 4th of February, 2357. Swansea Bay, mirrored moonlight curved. Blade. Footprints merged under lighthouse stump, fusion of ice and ember, glowing prism white. Stone soft, no longer granite but molten glass swirling. Lily. Feverish in my arms, whispered final fragment. Glass door, step through or be drowned outside. Water withdrew from shoreline, exposing barnacled ribs of wrecks ominous. Hush before surge. Dockworkers rang bells. Town awoke. Glass door, expanded oval 6 feet high. Inside shimmered swirling stars, spirals like nautilus. Then dark silhouette of child, hand outstretched. Lily stirred. That's the one who left prints. She slipped from grasp, tottered toward door. I lunged, too slow. Her hand brushed glass and sank in like water. Silhouette reached. I shouted. Vaughn pulled steam hammer, lever catapulted slag bucket. Onto door. Bucket smashed, but glass absorbed impact, unfazed. A choir of deep notes rolled out, rattling rib cages. Stone around door cracked. Lighthouse stump toppled. Waves returned, towering wall of black, ready to devour key. Crowd fled. I clutched Lily's coat hem, anchoring her half inside shimmering portal. Door pulsed. Footprints on both sides flared, then vanished absorbed. Portal flickered once, twice, then collapsed inward with thunderclap of shattering crystal. Froze mid-air, truly froze. 10-foot crest turned to translucence, ice suspended. A second later it crumbled to freezing rain, pattering harmless. Lily lay unconscious but breathing. Door, prints, glow gone. Only plain stone key, crack steaming. Sirens wailed distant. Church bells knelled. I knelt by Lily, soaked and shaking. Vaughn whispered hoarsely. The meeting happened. But which side won? Above, full moon dimmed behind drifting smoke. Its light ordinary again. Archivist's Preface, folios 39 to 66. The Evans Ledger. These last pages combine pencil, fountain ink, and later typewritten addenda. Sister documents include Dr. Idris Vaughn's seismograph charts and Inspector Morgan's official report, SWC 191127B. Where sections proved unreadable, I have interpolated with ellipses. Daybreak debris, the 5th of February 1911 dawn, rinsed the key in pewter light, washing away the night's terror, but not its marks. Timber strewn like pickup sticks, lighthouse. Stump cracked to a crooked grin, every copper gutter shaved clean by ice shrapnel. Yet the stone where char and frost once danced lay dull, ordinary, no glow, no scorch, no rime. Dockers prodded it with awls, half hoping it might flare back to life, half dreading that it would. Lily slept 12 hours straight, pulse steady, skin cool. When her lashes finally fluttered, I expected fright. Instead she smiled, as if waking. From a dream of summer hayfields, did we send them home, Day? She asked. I hope so, Carriad. She turned her face to window, milk blue irises glinting faint silver. For the first time since the fever took her sight, pupils tracked the light. I can almost see the sun, she whispered. Official explanations. Mayor Fenton called the events a freak tidal anomaly. Reverend Hughes preached that earnest prayer had stayed the wave. The South Wales Daily Post splashed Lily Evans saves Swansea. Across page 3, then hastily replaced. Saves with survives in later editions, editors wary of miracles. Inspector Morgan filed a terse report. No tangible evidence of supernatural agency. Lighthouse collapse attributed to subsidence. Wave merely freak bore. Yet even he avoided Dock Road after dusk, mustache quivering at unseen drafts. Dr. Vaughan, meanwhile, devoured the seismograph rolls. They showed a final pulse the instant. The glass door imploded, 2 mirror waves superposed, peak against trough, canceling the flat line. Perfect destructive interference, he muttered, eyes bright as fresh minted coins. As if 2 universes applauded, then fell silent. He drafted a paper for the Royal Geological Society, but withdrew it after reviewers demanded repeatable experiments. Lily's tale of the half-world and the 7th night she recounted. What she'd felt inside the portal. There was a hall of water standing up like glass. I heard voices humming numbers 1, 1, 2, 3. Forever. In the middle stood a boy no older than me, skin like moon silver. He was lonely, Day. His footprints were made of frost because everything on our side felt too warm for him. He said the char ones belonged to his shadow sister she burned where he froze. They'd walked for years, always missing each other, because the spiral kept them apart. I swallowed, remembering the twin trails, the Fibonacci counts. And when you touched the door, I gave him one of Mam's lullabies, the one about boats finding harbor. He answered with his own tune, same notes, but backward. The door folded up like paper, and he stepped through. Then everything went quiet, she added softer. The quiet felt kind. The seed in the foundry piece lasted a week. Then word reached us. Workers clearing debris at the copper foundry discovered a lump of glass, fused to the annealing chamber floor, oval, hand-sized, faintly phosphorescent. Anyone who touched it heard a distant thrumming, half heartbeat, half tide. Rumor said it pulsed a new number every dawn. 1, Vaughan grimaced at the tail. A seed, he said. Perhaps the portal sheared into fragments, but one. Fragments still alive, rebuilding the spiral, I felt old dread rise, cold and charred at once. We break it, I said. Glass that drank two worlds? He shook his head. We'll melt it, feed it more energy than it can channel, force it to decahere. And where do we find that power? His gaze slid to the smelting works Bessemer converter, a steel behemoth able to roar 50-foot jets of flame. Right there. Confrontation Underground, the 18th of February 1911 midnight. Foundry deserted save our small conspiracy. Vaughn, Inspector Morgan, dragged along by duty, myself and Lily, who refused to stay behind. We trundled the portable seismograph and a cart of coke to the converter floor. The seed lay in the chambers. Center, glass clear as Arctic ice, pulsing now up to 13 beats between pauses. Tiny frost spirals twined inside its core. Ember flecks flickered at every opposite pole. Char and cold married. Morgan wiped sweat, though night was freezing. If this goes wrong, Evans, the furnace may burst, void our insurance. File. That under act of God, I answered. Lily stepped forward, unafraid. The seed brightened at her presence, humming a pitch even my dull ears caught. Low D that rattled bolts. Vaughn's seismograph stylus jittered Fibonacci again. 8, 13, 21. Quickly, he hissed. Before it reaches 34. We wheeled. The seed using steel tongs glowing cherry into the converter crucible. Vaughn signaled. I swung the great lever. Blast air howled. Orange fury burst upward, licking crucible walls. Morgan staggered back, face lit hellfire. For a breath it seemed done. Glass blushed rosy. Then sang a bright, impossible chord that split air like crystal goblet cracked by soprano. Flames bent inward, not burning but feeding the seed, which swelled fist size, egg size, melon size. Converter walls groaned. Rivets spat. Vaughn swore. It's converting thermal to sonic to structural energy sponge. Lily clutched my coat. It's looking for the boy again. It needs one more step. Rivet popped, a bullet of steel whizzed past. Converter shell fissured, white plasma splashed. Plan B. I yelled, though none existed. Song of cancellation, Lily drew breath, humming the lullaby she'd given the moonboy soft as feather fall. The seed's chord wavered, seeking unison. I dropped to my knees, added man's harmony. Vaughn, voice rough, pitch drone a fifth below. Even Morgan, sweating. Fear, mumbled hymn meter. 4 voices layered, weaving opposite spirals. Seismograph pen flattened, scribbling near silence. The seed flickered, colors strobing negative, then cracked a hairline shining spider web. Again, Lily whispered, louder. We sang. Converter shuddered, but seed's shell fissured widen. Light leaking like dawn through keyhole. With final cadence, Lily spoke, barely audible. Home. The shell shattered, not explosion but implosion, collapse into pinprick that winked. Out. Flames whooshed back, ordinary orange, converter pressure dropping safe. Vaughn killed blast, panting. Silence reigned, no hum, no beats. Only our ragged breathing and drip of condensed steam. Is it over? Morgan croaked. Lily listened. Stone's quiet, I hugged her, tears drying to salt. Aftermath and accounts authorities chalked the converter mishap to operator error, but no one cared. Swansea's copper slump closed the foundry by year's end anyway. Footprints never returned. Stone lay sullen. Plain. Dr. Vaughn vanished. From academia, resurfacing years later lecturing on sonic geology in New York. His Swansea paper remained unpublished. Myth among grad students. Inspector Morgan retired early, grew roses. Never again touched brandy. Reverend Hughes rewrote his sermon series. Miracles hide in machinery. Pew attendance doubled. Mayor Fenton commissioned masons to pave quay with Belgian block. Modernize the waterfront. Yet each set near the old lighthouse stump arrived pre-scorched, blotched in frost motifs. Workmen swore they laid fresh stone. By morning the patterns reappeared. Fenton eventually ordered wrought iron plates instead. Tourists posed there still, hunting phantom hues under moonlight. Lily's new horizon spring equinox. Lily's eyes cleared like thawed ice, pale gray finding color, sight blooming petal. By petal, Dr. Price called it spontaneous optic nerve remission. Scribbled for Lancet. Lily just laughed. Moonboy said I'd keep a bit of the light. She devoured every book braille, then ink learning Greek letters that once hummed underfoot. By 20 she'd publish harmonics of Tidal stone, quoting neither magic nor miracle, only mathematics and music, but on quiet evenings she still stands at window, head tilted. They're gone, she say, yet echoes remain soft as owl wings. Then she hums lullaby, smiling toward the sea of rains. Final ledger, entry -1 March 1911. Took Lily to pier tonight. Waves harmless, moon bright silver. She counted stars aloud and named each captain returning safe to harbor. I tossed my toolbox into sea, no more riveting for me. Bought small sloop instead, painted her spiral 0. Tomorrow we sail at dawn. If footprints ever tread our world again, let them follow wake, not stone. I signed James Evans, closed the notebook, and never opened it again. Epilogue Curator's Note. 1978, when divers raised the pilot cutter Gannet, they found her figurehead. Twin children carved in teak, one charred black, one salt-bleached white, hands forever almost touching. The wood astride them bore a single, perfect circle radius 0 engraved, so deep no chisel marks remain. No laboratory can explain it. Some stories, like footprints in moonlight, refuse to fade.